ABC7 Bangor.
This is ABC 7 News at Noon.
Another person has died from a snowmobile crash. We have that story coming up. Good afternoon. I'm Susan Farley. 2 people are facing charges after police searched a home in Milford. And Howland's former select board chair abruptly resigned from her position during this week's town meeting. Thank you for joining us. We'll have more on these and other stories in just a moment. First, let's check in with meteorologist Devin Biggs. Devin?
Hey Susan, happy Thursday afternoon. Your first weather forecast brought to you by Lou G and Fredericks across from Eastern Maine Medical Center, serving the greater Bangor area for over 65 years. All right, we had alerts that were in effect till about noon today. These winter storm warnings and winter weather advisories were both dropped at about noon as things are starting to improve. Along the coast, though, we still have small crowd advisories that will drop at 7 p.m. for everybody, with the gale watch up until about midnight Saturday. This is ahead of our next little wave of energy that will be moving in, causing some gusty winds along the coast. We've had snow developing this morning. Some areas seeing about 1 to 3 inches overall, maybe some locally higher amounts, but we're seeing this back off now. But there's a little bit more snow on the way later on tonight as we're going to be watching more activity off toward the north and west. You can see it right there. That'll be moving in our direction. That will dump a little bit more snow before we're all finished up there. So future guys showing that snow backing off, but more on the way later on tonight. But that'll be out of here as we head towards Friday morning. So by the time we head off at about 9 to 10 o'clock, things will begin to improve. So here's a general idea. We're watching for some wind from time to time too. Backing off for a bit, but look at this, more wind on the way as we head towards Friday. So that's why those alerts are in effect. The forecast for today, upper teens, periods of snow that will be backing off for the afternoon. Northeast wind at about 25 miles per hour. The hourly forecast for the rest of the afternoon period, periods of snow, otherwise cloudy skies, temperatures in the teens. Your full 5-day forecast is coming up. Susan?
Thank you, Devin. A man from Connecticut is dead following a snowmobile crash in Rangeley. Game officials say 43-year-old Stephen Rogers of Milford, Connecticut was reported missing when he failed to return to pick up his snowmobile Tuesday at a local repair shop. Investigators used cell phone data to search for him. On Tuesday, they received a call from someone saying they had found broken snowmobile parts along the shore of Rangeley Lake. Wardens went to the area and found the snowmobile Rogers had been riding. They eventually found his body about 140 feet into the woods from the shoreline. Officials suspect he set out for a ride Saturday night with a loaner sled and crashed. Wardens believe he was traveling at a high rate of speed on the lake when he collided with trees along the shoreline and was thrown from the sled. They believe the use of alcohol was also a factor in that crash. State police are investigating a suspicious death in the town of Poland. They were called to a home on Trips Lake Road Tuesday morning to conduct a welfare check. That's when they discovered 1 or more people had died in the home. The Major Crimes Unit was on the scene yesterday collecting evidence and conducting interviews. They are not releasing any information about the alleged victims or what they think happened. However, they say there's no threat to the public. 2 people are facing charges after police searched a home in Milford Tuesday. They say 51-year-old Cindy McVicker and 21-year-old Jonathan McDonald were arrested for unlawful possession of scheduled drugs. The Penobscot County Sheriff's Special Response Unit searched a home on the Bradley Road in Milford at approximately 3 p.m. Homeland Security and a number of other departments searched with them. Officials say the investigation is ongoing. Howland's former select board chair abruptly resigned from her position Tuesday town's meeting. Our Matthew Jaroncic has the story.
Tonight, I offer my written resignation from the chair and the Howland Board of Select Persons effective immediately.
For the past few months, Tammy Colbath felt like she was being disrespected by her fellow select board members. During Tuesday's meeting, she made that clear prior to a planned executive session to discuss removing her from her position.
When I received the board agenda and I saw the executive session, I went and asked, what was the executive session about? And it was about me.
That's when she made the decision to resign.
It just doesn't feel like there's a lot of respect. And it was funny. They thought it was funny, and I made light of it, and and I asked them not to do that again, and they did it every week anyway. So it's like, that feels discriminatory to me.
Colbath outlined a variety of reasons for leaving. She says that there was a lack of respect for her that ranged from joking during the meetings to overstepping.
Times when I would run meetings and I'd be interrupted and pushed meeting time. Like, there's a set way to close a meeting or open a meeting, and they jump in and do it for me, and I'm like, that's not my job. That's my job.
Fellow board members like town manager David Lloyd were stunned by Colbath's decision.
It was a surprise to me, not what I expected. I did not expect the chair to resign from the board last night. I'm still kind of surprised by it. I really am.
When asked about why the select board was going to hold an executive session to discuss Colbath, Lloyd had no comment. Colbath says going forward, the town needs to do a better job of understanding what the residents of the town want rather than doing what they want.
That really opened up the eyes of a lot of taxpayers that they don't have enough voice or they don't give their voice. And we're supposed to be getting that.
In Howland, Matthew Gerontic reporting for ABC7 and Fox 22 News.
$1 billion in low-income home energy assistance funding was released by the Biden administration Wednesday. Maine will get $6.5 million for the LIHEAP fund. Earlier this month, Senator Susan Collins and Senator Jack Reed of Rhode Island led 32 senators in sending a letter to the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Secretary, urging the allocation of that money. Senator Collins says, quote, "Many Mainers, particularly low-income families and seniors, are struggling with the high cost of energy to keep their homes warm. I strongly advocated for these increased funds and pushed for their swift release to help prevent vulnerable Mainers from having to make the impossible choice between paying for heat and paying for food or medicine." Coming up on ABC 7 News at noon, a big change is coming in the way emergency calls are handled for Kennebec County. We've got the details when we return.
Looking to haul a new piece of equipment? Homeowners or commercial, Coops Truck and Equipment has the right trailer for you. Coops is the largest dealer of truck flatbeds and hauler bodies in this state and can replace any old rusty bed or outfit any new truck. Our full-service facility can modify all truck and trailers with steel and aluminum fabricators on duty. We are your go-to place for CM truck bodies, H&H trailers, and load trail trailers. For trailers, truck bodies, truck outfitting, and more, it's Coops.
Best wishes to the Brewer Witches from Coach House Restaurant. Homemade meals, homemade desserts, now serving pizza, eat in or take out. Good luck to all our area basketball teams from Maine Highlands Federal Credit Union. Find us at mhfcu.com. And good luck to all the area high school basketball teams from Cat Tracks LaGrange, your dealer for Hewitt Docks and Grasshopper lawnmowers. When Rowell's Garage in Dover Foxcroft wants to know the local forecast, they log on to foxbangor.com. Rowell's Garage has been serving customers in the greater Dover Foxcroft region since 1946. Our goal is not just selling you a vehicle, but also giving you quality service to maintain your vehicle at peak performance.
Jamar Construction Products in Bangor continues to grow to meet our customers' needs, supplying products for site work contractors, concrete contractors, and survey and safety supplies. We are proud to be the local dealer for Hilti, Valley Blades, U.S. Fabrics, and Euclid Chemical, plus so much more. Stop by and see us at 1270 Hammond Street or give us a call at 907-4491. If you dig it, pour it, plow it, fasten it, lay it, or lift it, Jamar Construction Products can help you.
Living in Maine means long, cold winters and hot, humid summers. Whatever the weather, Bangor Heat Pumps is your solution. Open 24/7, Bangor Heat Pumps takes care of you at home or at work. We operate statewide and service all brands and models. Understanding moving can be stressful. We will help move any units you may have. We offer a veterans discount in our home with a Capeless Hero discount. Visit us online at BangorHeatPumpsLLC.com or call or text us at 307-7746. Bangor Heat Pumps.
You're watching ABC 7 Bangor.
Last night, Bangor residents had the chance to speak out on revised tenants' rights ordinance that was recently added to the City Council implementation plan. The plan focuses on addressing housing insecurity in Bangor and ensuring fair renting practices for both tenants and landlords. If approved, the ordinance will require a 60-day notice of any rent increase, limit the cost of screening fees to $75, and eliminate rental application fees entirely. One Bangor renter argued that tenants don't have as many rights as landlords regardless of the proposed ordinance and is in favor of the changes. Many who spoke expressed concerns of possible unnecessary punishments being levied against property owners.
I also disagree with the not being able to have an application fee and only being able to charge those successful applicants. I think it's important to be able to do those screenings on all the applicants to see what their backgrounds are and run those credit checks.
The new policy punishing the masses for the few, and is it a Band-Aid or is it actually a fix?
I hope you do not pass ordinances that are going to cause more places to have red placards put on them because the landlord cannot afford to keep up with mortgages and expenses.
The councilors did make preliminary changes to some of the language in the ordinance. However, they were unable to come to an agreement on whether to waive screening fees for applicants. Further modifications are possible when they do a second reading of the ordinance on Monday night. Catholic churches across the state held annual Ash Wednesday masses, and as part of them, donation collections to help bring hope to Ukraine. This year at all masses, there was a special effort to jointly benefit churches in Ukraine. The collection efforts have taken place for 3 decades and have benefited churches in 28 different nations that have suffered from disaster or oppression. When the war in Ukraine started nearly a year ago, and aid was immediately sent to the country by Catholics in the United States. That was done through the U.S. Bishops' Collection for churches in Central and Eastern Europe. Kennebec County officials are considering how to move forward after news of big change in how emergency communication is handled. Our David Ledford has the story.
Somerset County has announced that it will no longer answer 911 calls for Kennebec County, starting at the end of June. The change will impact 16 municipalities across the Kennebec County region, all but the town of Benton, which is covered by Fairfield. Communications and Emergency Management Director for Somerset County, Michael Smith, says that more than half of the emergency calls they receive come from Kennebec County, which factored into the decision.
We have a responsibility to, the taxpayers of Somerset County who are going to be calling, and to the first responders of Somerset County who rely on this center to be their lifeline, and that's where we need to place our responsibilities.
Smith says staffing shortages at the Somerset County Public Safety Answering Point have made it difficult to handle all the calls. Augusta Police Chief Jared Mills says this is an issue he's seen across Maine.
We're experiencing staffing shortages. I know everybody else in the state is as well, like with most jobs, if you will, that are out there. So this dispatching is not exempt from that. It's a very difficult job to do, and it's hard to find folks willing to do that job.
Kennebec County Emergency Management Director Art True says officials are working to find solutions before the end of June. Some options under consideration include creating a new county-level dispatch center and working with existing ones. True says that if a solution is not found, Maine's Regional Communication Center in Augusta will take on the call load.
Emergency communications, that is a backbone to all of our emergency services. No decisions have been made. No decisions will be made until we have the information and have legitimate short and long-term plans that can sustain our county.
David Ledford, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Kennebec County officials want to remind people that no matter what happens, when you dial 911, someone will pick up the phone to help. After the break, we'll take a look at an RSV vaccine that could be ready by August. We'll be right back.
Good luck and have fun to all area schools in the basketball tournament from Prouty Auto Body. Best wishes to all area schools in the tournament from Color Concepts, 840 Hammond Street, Bangor. Good luck to all schools in the surrounding area from Gilman Electrical Supply, Newport.
If you're eligible for Medicare and Medicaid, a Medicare Advantage plan from Anthem Maine Health can come with all the benefits you want and zero compromises. Just go to anthemmainhealth.com/answers or call 855-753-3928 for a one-on-one Medicare plan review. Ask about our $0 monthly premium plans that include dental, vision, and hearing coverage, along with transportation, a free gym membership, and $0 copay for prescriptions, all for zero extra cost. Plus, you could be eligible for extra benefits to help you save even more. We have plans with up to $2,500 a year to help you pay for over-the-counter health items, groceries, and living expenses like cell phone, electric, or water bills, all on a single prepaid MasterCard you can use at thousands of locations nationwide. Call Anthem Main Health at 855-753-3928 or visit anthemmainhealth.com/answers and get a Medicare Advantage plan with zero compromises for you and your wallet.
ABC7, Fox 22, and Next Home Experience want to send you to see the professional bull riders performing March 10th, 11th, and 12th at the Cross Insurance Center in Bangor. Register to win 2 tickets at our website. Come out of the gate hot this year. With selling your home like riding a bull, the market can be a bumpy ride, but our next homies are here to make it as smooth as possible. Get your tickets, get looped, and get sold. With Next Home Experience, your humans over houses realtors.
The winter storm has now turned deadly. A large swath of the country is now facing extreme weather right now. Roads and airports are still at a standstill with feet of snow expected in some areas. Overnight, more than 600,000 power outages were reported in Michigan alone due to an ice storm, now blamed for the death of a firefighter. ABC's Jacqueline Lee has the latest.
This morning, several airport hubs are reporting more flight cancellations and delays as a massive winter storm creates treacherous travel conditions from coast to coast.
All of a sudden, I heard a big boom and a big red fire came up.
Authorities in Arkansas saying 5 people were killed in a small plane crash in Little Rock. The cause under investigation, but wind gusts were reportedly 40 miles per hour at the time. It comes as 135 million Americans in more than 40 states are on alert for high wind, snow, and ice. In Michigan, a volunteer firefighter was killed when a power line fell on him after ice snapped a tree branch. Power outages reported overnight in California, Illinois, and Wisconsin, and many more outages are expected. In Los Angeles County, a rare blizzard warning: up to 7 feet of snow could fall in higher elevations. The storm brought these intense conditions to northern Arizona, and this newly released video from the Wyoming Highway Patrol shows an out-of-control semi nearly slamming into that first responder. Meanwhile, in the southeast, record heat could stick around for days. It could be 40 degrees warmer than usual in some areas. Baltimore could see temperatures in the 80s, potentially breaking a record set in the 1800s.
Look at that. Temperatures looking like May out there. And yes, it is February.
And while areas like McAllen, Texas hit 95 degrees Wednesday, the Dakotas were below zero, a 100-degree temperature difference in the continental U.S. Experts say climate change is most apparent in winter months in both high and low temperature readings. Areas as far north as New Jersey could see record high temperatures today.
A young girl and a TV news employee are among those killed in a deadly shooting in Orlando, Florida. Police are now looking for answers. ABC's Andrew Dimbert has the latest.
Be advised, we're getting multiple gunshot wound calls in the Hialeah Street area.
Tragedy in Central Florida after sheriff's deputies say 3 people were killed in a shooting spree, including a 9-year-old girl and a TV journalist covering one of the initial shootings.
So I want to acknowledge what a horrible day this has been for our community and our media partners.
Condolences from other journalists pouring in overnight. Investigators say a news photographer and a reporter for Spectrum News were on the scene of a homicide investigation in an unmarked vehicle when the gunman returned to the scene and shot them. One of the journalists was killed. Officials say the gunman then ran into a nearby home before shooting a mother and her 9-year-old girl.
No one in our community not a mother, not a 9-year-old, and certainly not news professionals should become the victim of gun violence in our community.
19-year-old Keith Melvin Moses was arrested, charged with the killings. No word overnight on a motive. Authorities say Moses has a lengthy criminal history that includes aggravated battery, assault with a deadly weapon, and gun charges. Meanwhile, Spectrum News releasing a statement overnight saying, "We are deeply saddened by the loss of our colleague and the other lives senselessly taken today. This is a terrible tragedy for the Orlando community."
The mother of that 9-year-old girl and the other Spectrum News crew member are in critical condition in the hospital as police try to determine what was behind the suspect's rampage.
An RSV vaccine could be available to use by this August. Pharmaceutical company Pfizer newly developed vaccine was made to prevent critical cases of the virus. Research shows RSV is the highest cause for infant hospitalizations. A single vaccine dose given to pregnant women will protect infants from birth to 6 months old. In an effort to speed up the review process before RSV's peak season, the Food and Drug Administration is reportedly set to approve the first vaccine of its kind by late summer. Older adults may be more prone to having heat-related illnesses. There are measures you can take to reduce your risk. ABC's WVII offers some tips to avoid heat exhaustion or heat stroke and stay cool in hot weather when it finally gets here.
A combination of high temperatures and high humidity can make it hard for your body to cool down. Adults older than 65 are especially susceptible to sudden temperature changes and have a harder time regulating their body temperature in the heat. When spending time in the heat, look out for sudden dizziness, cramps, and swelling in the legs, which can all be a sign your body is overheating. Heat exhaustion occurs when the body can't cool down. You may feel dizzy, thirsty, uncoordinated, or nauseous and have sweaty or clammy skin and a fast heart rate. Heat stroke happens when your body temperature is greater than 104 degrees and requires immediate medical attention. Experts from the CDC recommend regularly drinking water, ensuring your air conditioning is working properly, resting when possible, and avoiding overworking yourself. Try to have others check in on you and vice versa during peak heat days and activities. Take note if certain medications may impact body temperature. You may want to consider installing alarms on doors and windows to keep cool air inside the home when possible. With this Medical Minute, I'm WVII, ABC News.
Reading more to your children may improve their language skills. A new study published in Journal of American Board of Family Medicine finds reading to infants just one book a day may aid them in their language development. Infants showed high language scores when their parents read them 7 books a week compared to those who had less read to them. Advanced language development was already seen by infants 9 months old. In order for improvement to be seen, parents had to consistently read to their infant before they turned 1. When we return, Devin Biggs has your 5-day forecast.
If you're a Medicare beneficiary and live in the area, call now to see how this little card could get you some big benefits, including up to $840 added back to your Social Security check each year. With one toll-free call, you can find out how easy it is to get all of your original Medicare coverage, plus extra benefits. You get an all-in-one plan designed to fit your needs so you can be your best every day. You could have medical coverage, prescription drugs with $0 generics, dental, vision and hearing, plus the WellCare Visa Flex Card to pay for extra dental, vision, and hearing expenses, money for over-the-counter items, and up to $840 back in your Social Security check each year. And so much more. And here's more good news. You can get a WellCare plan for a $0 monthly premium. How can WellCare offer all of those benefits for a $0 monthly premium? It's simple. Medicare Advantage and Medicare Part D prescription drug coverage are important parts of Medicare. WellCare has a contract with Medicare to offer and provide these important options to you. Call right now to get your free copy of the WellCare All-in-One Guide. Call 1-877-282-3827 now. There is absolutely no obligation for requesting this free information. WellCare offers benefits that go beyond the basics, including up to $840 each year added to your Social Security check to help cover your Part B premium. Call today to get your free copy of the All-in-One Guide with absolutely no obligation. Your free plan guide will provide information to make a smart choice for your Medicare coverage. Just call 1-877-282-3827. Remember, there's no obligation for requesting this free information. So call 1-877-282-3827. Call today. WellCare. Medicare done well.
A local healthcare provider is looking to fill several volunteer positions. Devin Dagnall has the story.
Northern Light is in search of volunteers for their Caring Calls Center, Pathfinders program, and hospice.
We're looking for emotional stability, but people that move from a center of kindness and compassion. That's what we're looking for.
According to the Northern Light volunteer coordinator, Sarah Cody, all of the volunteer programs offer an extensive multi-week training program that only requires a few hours of commitment each week. And for anyone with an especially compassionate heart, the Pathfinders coordinator, Jane Corman, says a lot of program volunteers are people who experience some form of grief themselves and are looking to help others through the process.
Those people have a tendency to want to get involved, to give back, but you don't have to have that kind of background. You can just be compassionate and interested in helping kids who are suffering.
The Caring Calls program manager, Cynthia Smith, says that those who volunteer through any of the programs often find the whole experience incredibly rewarding.
You know, to come in and do this call, you leave feeling so much better. And the volunteers, the participants get something out of it, but the volunteers really do too. They know they're making a difference in the life of the folks we call.
Smith says that there is no experience needed prior to the training to volunteer. According to Cody, the next in-person home hospice training session will be on April 6th.
If you're interested in learning more about how to volunteer at Northern Light Home Care and Hospice, visit us on the web at www.northernlighthealth.org/HCH volunteer.
In Bangor, Devin Dagnall, ABC7 and Fox 22 News.
Now let's check your full forecast with Devin Biggs. Devin?
Alrighty, here we are. So some advisories that were up earlier. These were winter storm warnings and winter weather advisories that were dropped at about the noon time frame, so things are looking pretty good there. Now we have this. We have a small craft advisory that's dropping at 7 p.m. later on tonight, with gale watches that are up through midnight, as we head towards your Saturday with more wind that'll be on the way for tomorrow. So here's a general idea. So we've had snow moving through with about 1 to 3, locally up to 4 inches, maybe locally higher amounts in a few spots. We're starting to back things off with this first wave of precipitation that has been moving through. There's more development, though, further off towards the north and west, with high pressure to the north as well. So we're going to be watching for more snow moving in with this area low pressure that continues to track off from the west going toward the east. So futurecast timing all this out right now, maybe a few more snow showers later on tonight during the evening time frame, watching out for more snow that'll be moving in for everybody across the state. As we head towards tomorrow morning, by about 8, 9 o'clock, the snow will start to taper off. We'll hold on to the clouds for a while yet, but by the afternoon, we'll start to see the clouds breaking up gradually. So by the evening, we'll start to see the stars, so things will start to look good Friday night and beyond. And even by Saturday, they'll look at this, a lot of sunshine to start things off for your weekend. As for snowfall, hardly anything additional before we're all finished up, maybe a half inch or less of additional snowfall. And then there's the snow coming in later on as we head towards tonight. So some areas could see up to locally higher amounts, maybe even 3 to 6 inches before we're all finished up. While further out towards the south and west, maybe a little bit less at around 2 to 4, maybe up to 5 inches in just a few spots. So overall for today, we're not too bad out there. A little bit chilly, periods of snow at times, maybe blowing around. We'll be in the upper teens with that northeast wind getting up to about 25 miles per hour. As for tonight, 11 degrees, snow likely again. You saw that about 3 to 6 inches, maybe locally higher amounts with lesser amounts to the south and west. The northeast wind getting up to about 5 to 10 miles per hour. As we move ahead towards tomorrow, it looks a little bit like this. Lower 20s. We will have morning snow, then becoming mostly cloudy later on, but decreasing clouds later in the day. The north wind getting up to about 30 miles per hour at times. Here's a look at your extended forecast. So as we head towards your Saturday, even by then, Friday night, look at this, 7 below for the low, 15 degrees for the high on Saturday with a partly cloudy sky, 4 below Saturday night, more snow moving in. By Sunday, highs in the lower 20s and mid-20s on Monday with a mostly cloudy sky.
Thank you, Devin. Remember earlier this week when it was 45 degrees and sunny? That's all for ABC 7 News at noon. Thanks for watching. I'm Susan Farley. We'll see you this evening on ABC 7 News at 6. Have a great afternoon.
Saliba's Rug Cleaners in Bangor is the best and only spot you should go to for your rug cleanings. Serving Maine for more than 70 years, we care about your rugs.